Hello guys, this is Gary here again with another video on how to use Basic MVC. This is episode 2 of the series. Basic MVC is a framework that allows you to create anything you want. It's a PHP lightweight MVC framework. So let's get started. I'm just going to go ahead and start up NetBeans 8.0. No, it's still in beta, but I like it better than the last version. It's still starting. If you didn't watch the first tutorial or the first video, I walked you through how to create to set up the basic MVC installation on your server. Later on, I'll probably implement a installer file there to do all this for you, but here's our installation. And it works. Okay, and we went through a couple of the flags here. I think we went through enter dev and exits dev and things like that. But this is the website we left off with, and let's go ahead and start building on that website. I have the basic MVC project right here, and let's go ahead and open up the index file. That way we can refer back to it if we need to, and we can change it any way we want to if we need to in the future. Let's go ahead and open up our main controller and our main index view. Okay, so the first thing we want to go ahead and do is we want to leave that the same, and let's go ahead and start working with a couple of frameworks here. If you looked at the README basic MVC, you see that I included a couple of frameworks here. Let's go ahead and download this. That way we know what exactly we're looking at. As I remember, I downloaded and I put the basic MVC. I put the admin LTE template into the basic MVC installation. So let's go ahead and go into admin LTE. That's definitely not it. And this should be what we get. Okay, yeah, here's the admin LTE template. I want to go ahead and use this for the website, but we'll change it quite a bit because we don't need the same menu structure and things like that. So we'll go ahead and customize everything and make it to where to what we need. So the first thing we want to go ahead and do is we want to go into the basic admin LTE here, and we want to go get the blank page and view source, and we want to go ahead and copy all of this. We'll strip out a lot of it, but we'll copy the whole thing, and there we go. And let's go ahead and strip out what we don't need. Well, we'll do that once we get this thing done here. So what we want to go ahead and do is we want to point it to the assets directory, because that's where the admin LTE framework lives. And I'll just go ahead and copy this. Excuse me, I'm used to a Mac. We'll go ahead and copy this, and we'll just do an edit replace. Find and replace. So we'll go ahead and replace that with assets, and since we have something that's on every one of these, we'll just go ahead and replace all. Okay, now the admin LTE framework should be configured for our system. So if we go to Basic MVC.v4.net, we refresh. Oh, looks like some of our CSS didn't load. So let's go and inspect element, grab our network, and refresh the page. It's kind of strange. Oh, there we go. Looks like font awesome didn't load. Oh, that would be why. There we go. And we have our basic template. Okay, that was really easy to kind of install. Just copy and paste. So let's go ahead and start manipulating this template, and let's do what we want to do with it. Let's start building our website through this template. So we'll go ahead and do this. And I'm not worried about search engine optimization or anything like that. I'll leave that there. Since our HTML compressor is turned on, it'll strip out all our HTML comments and JavaScript comments and everything that is there. Okay, we don't need this, and we can go and replace this. Really and truly, we can replace anything that says admin LTE with our code or our name. So here's our sidebar toggle button, which we don't need it, so because we won't even have a sidebar. So if we refresh here, toggle button's gone. And if we look at this header here, we don't need most of this. It's still here, and here's our user account drop down. And if we save, max, different command. Should have removed that. Maybe I didn't save. Okay, we still have our user menu, which I'll keep that there just to refer back to. We don't need the sidebar. So let's go remove the sidebar. And if we see here, sidebar is in an aside tag. So let's go ahead and go all the way down to the side tag right here. Okay, so now that we've done that, we refresh the page and our sidebar should be gone. Okay, that's great, but there's one more thing I don't like here. This only goes to right here. We want it to go all the way across. So let's find where this is actually defined. Looks like a lot of places, but since NetBeans won't tell us, we can always just go over here and inspect element. And with our aside, we can go to admin LTE CSS. Okay, that looks great. And that's line 59 of admin LTE.css. Now that should be permanent. So let's refresh, see what we get. For the home page, we don't need the breadcrumbs. I'll just comment them out for now, since we can refer back to them later. So let's go into right here. This is our breadcrumbs. And there we go. Okay, so we have our breadcrumbs gone. We still want to build our links up here at the top, so let's go do that real quick, and then we'll work on the footer. After that, we'll actually break this down into multiple template files. Okay, let's see here. Li tags. Let's keep those for now. This is actually, let's remove this. We don't need it. We don't need the caret, and we don't need this. We don't need the data toggle, and we don't need this class. So now if we save and refresh, we still have our link, but it's not a toggle link anymore. So we can put multiple things here. Great. Okay, so on normal websites, normal projects, and things like that, let's go grab a normal website such as CodeIgniter. That's another MVC framework. And let's see what we get up here at the top. We get advertisements for different company. We can say about blog community store and sign in. Well, since our system's completely open source, we don't need a store. But we can put home about community products and sign in. We don't need this last link, so we can erase it and see what we get. Oh, wrong one. Okay, looks great, good enough for me. Okay, so what we can do here is we can say Basic MVC homepage, and for our small text beside the title of the page, we can say the lightweight PHP framework. There's one more thing here that I didn't add, which I'll go in up here and add it. And that's our tutorial link. And I don't like the way that looks with the home page there, so we'll just remove this. And there we go. Very simple. And for this, we'll go ahead and start with our breadcrumbs. How it would normally look. We can do that here in just a second, actually. So let's go look here. Since we have that, let's go start breaking our template up. And we don't need this now. Well, before we break our template up, I would also like to do one more thing. Go into the index, and under section and aside here, okay. And since we have our footer, or what appears to be a footer, and it should be saved, which apparently is not showing up. Oh, it is. Just didn't know it. There we go. Now, very, very, very minimum construction here. And one more thing, I don't like the way that this is all at the bottom, because if you load a page and you try to target jQuery, it won't work. And even if you try to target jQuery after the page load, it still won't work. So I don't like loading my JavaScript after the DOM is ready. So place our JavaScript here. It still works for the template, and it still works for us. Alright, and now that we have this, let's go and put our breadcrumb logic in. And we'll echo this. And there's our breadcrumbs. Also, I just don't want to throw any PHP errors, so we'll say if set breadcrumbs, and we'll have to remember that breadcrumbs is an array, and it should be an ordered array for nesting purposes of the breadcrumbs. Okay, also I want to go ahead and do this. That way we can manipulate our template a little bit more freely. And we'll do this real quick. Okay, now that that's been done, we can get rid of this. We don't need it anymore, just to clean up our template. And we're done there. Okay, and we'll create another folder inside of the views folder, call it template. And within there, we'll create a file called head.php and another file called foot.php. Okay, so we want to go ahead and copy this, put it in our foot. That's the only thing that's going to live in our foot for now. And we want to go ahead and copy all of this and put it in our head. Okay, now that we have all this, let's go ahead and include everything that we need. Now, if we refresh this page, we should have exactly the same thing, which we do. But since we've broken everything down into templates, we can go and change our foot and our head, and it'll change across the entire website automatically. So now what our goal is to make these links actually go somewhere. And there's one more thing I want to change with this link. So if we go into our head, there's a link right here. All I want that to be is /. And if we go to here, this is our home, so we'll leave that the same. For our about, we'll just do that. Tutorials, keep it like that. Community, misspelled that, and /products, /products, and sign in will be /log/in. Okay, now that we have our links, let's go start creating our controller objects and loading basically the same thing over and over and over. That way we can have our pages. It's not coming to a 404. So what we want to do is inside of our controllers, we'll create a new one and we'll call it about. Okay, so now we'll open up in PHP. We'll create a class called about, and we'll extend controller. Now for our index function, we'll load our about/index. And we'll do this for everything. So our tutorials, we'll do the same thing. Community, products and login. Now there's one thing I want to go ahead and change on this file. So we'll do function in our index function. I want it to go ahead and automatically redirect to this function here. So what we'll do is we'll do this redirect to /about/in. And that'll send a 301 redirect. Let search engines know that we'll redirect to this page, but it may and may not be permanent. So just notice I had a bug in every one of these, so I copied and pasted. So we'll just go in here and correct it real quick. And that's been done. Okay. So what we want to do now is we want to go and create our folders for everything. So about community log products and tutorials. Okay, now that we've done that, we want to go into our main, copy this, we'll just throw it in every one of these. Okay, and for our log, we'll name this just in.php. Okay, makes sense now. The next thing we want to do is, I notice I messed up on the template, so we'll go change it real quick. So on our head, I noticed that we put in the just static code for here. That's not good. So what we'll do here, is we'll say if is set page title. Actually, we don't even need this if statement. We'll say echo just looks more organized whenever you do it like this. If page title's set, then we'll echo page title. If it's not, we'll just echo basic MVC. We'll need to do the same thing for this part right here inside of our small text, and we'll call this page small. Okay, that looks good now. We still have the same thing, which is great. That's what I expected. But if we go to the about page, our tutorial page, our community page, products page, and sign in page, well, Wire wants no such file directory. Site views about in.php. Okay. So views. Oh, okay. So in our log, I messed up. Messed up bad. Okay. So if we go to our log in, there, it works now. And if we remove the in, just go to log, it works. Okay, so that's our basic template. That's all we needed there. And one more thing I wanted to do was I want to go ahead and start pushing this information over. So in all these pages here, we load our templates, but maybe different information is pushed into our template or our actual view page every time from our controller. That's fine and dandy, which we don't need this. Actually, we'll just close everything, make sure we have what we need, which is all of our pages in our website. Okay, but there's an array that's set every time, or a variable that's set every time that we load a view. It's automatically set. By default, it's set to null, but if you pass any kind of data to our any of our views, this variable is always set. So there's no checking to see if it's set or anything like that. It's always there. So if we go to our about page, which is right here, we just pass that variable. So no errors were thrown. Okay, so now that we've done that, all of our pages still work, and since we've did that, we can go into our about page, our about controller, and we can send information now. So let's go into our about controller. Under function index, we can say data equals that, and data is always an array, so we can set page title, and we can set this equal to about. We can say data page small is equal to about basic MVC, or learn about basic MVC. Okay, now that we've done that and we hit about, oh, it didn't look like it loaded. Oh, that's fine. I didn't pass our variable down. Okay, so you may be wondering why, how did that work exactly? Okay, if you look at this a little bit closer, we created an array, gave our keys the same names as our variables within our view, our template. Oh, wrong one. Gave it the same variable names. Okay, well, right here. Okay, so what happens when we hit load view is it takes that data variable and it finds out if it's an array or not. If it is an array, then it will convert it to plain old variables, kind of like the PHP extract function, but it's but we can pass it down. So that's great. Okay. One more thing here is I want to set our title. And we have our title set. We can set up breadcrumbs. So breadcrumbs, this part's going to be a little bit more tricky. It's going to be a little bit more advanced. Set this home, about. And now we have our breadcrumbs. That's one thing I don't like about here is we're getting an icon and we don't need that icon. So we'll go into our head and we'll take out this this I tag and we'll refresh the page. Okay, our icons are gone. We have our breadcrumbs, but there's still one thing I don't like about it. It's too close to the side. So we'll do a style and we'll set a margin left, or margin right, I'm sorry, equal to 12 pixels. See if that pulls off the side a bit. There we go. Let's pull it off the side a little bit more. Let's pull it off 20 pixels. And that's about like what I want. Okay, so we now have our page started. Click on our breadcrumb, go back to the home page. If we click on our breadcrumb here, we'll refresh the page. So that's what I like to see anyway. We'll grab our breadcrumbs and we'll throw it on everything here. So we'll throw our variables on all these pages here. That way we get a little bit more final with what we have. So for our home page, or for our about page, go grab this. Open up community log main. Well, we don't need main, our products and tutorials. So we'll do this. Home is going to be the same. Oop, my bad. Which that should work. Which it didn't. Okay, so now if we go to home, we get our correct information here. Tutorials, community, products, and sign in. Alright, looks like we have our basic website set up. We got some functionality. I like having some functionality. It's actually really cool. This has been a video broadcast or a tutorial on how to build the beginnings of your website with Basic MVC. I'll link my the Basic MVC framework project SourceForge in the description under the video. Please try to explore Basic MVC, break it, fix it, try to explore as much as you can, because it's free, it's lightweight, and it can do a lot of things. Right now I'm just getting the top of what Basic MVC can do. In the next few videos I'll skim a little bit over more advanced features of Basic MVC. My next 2 or 3 videos is basically going to be designing what the user sees, the look and feel of the website. If you like this video, give me some feedback underneath it, under the comments. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. Again, my name's Gary. Have a great night.